Here we go again.
I think it's great that this is happening.
Well, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
The screen says, I'm sorry, the system is temporarily down.
Well, it's okay. It'll come back. You know, that happens every day.
Awkward. Talk about bad timing, right? Secretary Kathleen Sebelius right there talking up Obamacare at a Navigator event, then the site goes down. Just the latest in a string of issues with this rollout that's keep rolling on. Reason why Republican Congressman Steve Scalise says junk this thing, but instead of Republicans just bashing it, he's got an alternative for it. Congressman, what is yours all about?
Well, Neil, it's called the American Healthcare Reform Act, and what it's focused on is putting patients and hardworking taxpayers back in charge of their healthcare decisions, getting Washington politicians, IRS agents, and all these other people out of those decisions between a doctor and a patient. And what we do is just take common sense reforms, allow people to buy across state lines so that they have more options in lowering the cost of healthcare, doing things like letting small businesses pool together, and even letting families pool together within their own church groups and other organizations. So we do a lot of things that are really based in lowering the cost of healthcare and increasing access so that the patient is back in charge of their healthcare decisions. And look, it's a very concise bill. It's less than 200 pages long. It's not the 2,700-page bill that Obamacare is. And also, we have over 100 members of Congress now that have co-sponsored it. And we had medical doctors who serve in Congress, like Dr. Phil Rowe, help write this bill. So this is a bill based on putting patients back in charge of their healthcare and lowering the cost and getting government out of healthcare decisions.
Does it eventually include coverage for everybody? In other words, those who don't have insurance now, which the impetus for this healthcare law, will eventually be covered?
Yeah, look, we don't have mandates and all these taxes and other unworkable components that Obamacare has. We let people make those decisions. But by lowering the cost, you actually increase access for people. We do address the problem of people with pre-existing conditions because we don't think that's right, that somebody can be discriminated against.
Well, how do you lower the cost then if you
market.
cover pre-existing conditions? Because insurance companies say whether they pool their resources or not, they're higher risk and people have to pay higher premiums as a result.
Right. And of course in Obamacare they do it through mandates that end up raising the cost for everybody. What we do is actually focus on lowering the cost, and with pre-existing conditions we put our money where our mouth is. We actually put up real money that we get through savings in other areas like medical malpractice reform so that doctors don't have to run all these tests that have nothing to do with your health care. It's all about defensive medicine. So you get tremendous cost savings in those areas.
But does someone with a pre-existing condition, Congressman, end up paying more because he or she has a pre-existing condition?
No, in fact, we work through existing state high-risk pools. And again, we put real money in place so that someone with a pre-existing condition can actually buy at market rates. And by the way, they also have other options. If they're in a Rotary Club, they can go buy through their Rotary Club's association health plan that we create in this, or a Chamber of Commerce, or any other group that they're a member of.
Now, you were among the first to say, look, we Republicans can't be about bashing. We have to be about having a positive alternative. You mentioned about 100 co-sponsors of those who are interested in Congress and what you've drafted. But how seriously is this being taken?
Very seriously, and first of all, we approached it and we drafted this bill with a working group of members of the Republican Study Committee, which I chair, from a standpoint of this is a bill we want to actually have a vote on the House floor, and we've talked to our leadership, and look, we're building momentum behind this bill every day, and a lot of outside organizations, including a number of state medical societies, are supporting this bill because they realize it actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, let the debate ensue. A lot of good ideas.
Here.
Congressman, thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Neil.